She's harassed by Webster, and then Clark nudged out by O'Sullivan.
I like the change of role for Amy Gaylor. She spent a whole lot of time this season as the half-back player, has flipped up and played a fair bit of time on the wing the past couple of games, and we saw her at that centre bounce lining up on the square, so still playing that role. Had the career high as well last week with 19 disposals and her first AFLW goal.
Yeah, what a season she's had. First-year player Amy Gaylor. Chris Barker's taken down.
I really like that from Natalie Webb as well. Natalie Wood, sorry. You have a player that's played such a good season in their first season, but you're still trying to find the best spot for them, rather than just conceding and saying she's a good half-back, moving her around and finding her best spot.
It's a real tick, isn't it, for Gaylor? Handball over the top to McCarthy. Just wasn't balanced as she hit the kick.
Whilst that one went out on the full, that's got to be good signs if you're a Fremantle supporter. McCarthy getting out the other side of the clearance and in space, being able to have a shot towards goal.
Career best season in her first in purple. Kick to a dangerous spot at centre half back over the head of Morecambe, who then attacked it at ground level, was attacked herself by Jess Lowe. Good contest.
Great tackle. Good contest between two players there. Ball and all tackle.
Here is Gaylor, ran over the top of it. Nan Scorn flipped it out. This will work for Matilda Dyke. Didn't hit the kick as she'd like. Might still work. Coming back the other way is O'Driscoll. She comes storming through, creates, receives the handball back. Emma's kick out towards half forward. Might work here for the 50-gamer set. Can she keep it alive? She's kept her feet. She's kept it alive. She's on the boundary line. She squares it up. And that works for the Dockers. Webster gets on the end of it. Well played, Philippa Stett.
Well, that was phenomenal from Emma O'Driscoll to set that up. Amber Clark again was goal side of her opponent, so if O'Driscoll doesn't come and intercept that, we're probably calling a goal at the other end for the Bombers. That was a huge passage of play from the intercept defender.
4-4 for the season. And she's hit the post. Thunders into the left upright.
Gave us a good look at the breeze though, pushing to that left-hand upright, so kicking to that end, you're going to have to start at inside right goalpost.
Georgia Clark goes for distance, vots the target, got played in front by Lowe, had a couple of good moments already in the elimination final. Goes short to Newton, also in her first season in purple. Gabby Newton from 55 out, sets it up. Well read by Gaylor. At ground level, coming in is Van Loon with the tackle.
Just a little bit concerned early around the matchup on Amber Clark. Jay Flynn's taking that one. Every time the ball's gone in contest though, Clark has taken her to the contest and then beaten her out the back.
Chris Barkas sold the dummy, bought herself another moment. Strong back inside 50, this is going to work. Hayley Miller's got on the end of it. She's about 45 out from goal. So we take her absolute best. Hard to know what the wind's doing because it is so swirly.
So this will be a top of the square kick.
That's where she heads. Takes the heat off it, and it works perfectly for O'Sullivan. Kick-a-whack went down in front. O'Sullivan at the back slid in. Now, does she run around onto the left or go with the banana?
Yeah, I think she'll hit the check side here, the inside out on the right foot.
Gabby O'Sullivan, 6'7" for the season. That's narrow. So a couple of early shots for Fremantle. That's the Bombers by 4 points. Winner of this one will go to Adelaide to face the Crows in a sudden death semi next week. Gay went the barrel, I think. Vaught has it. Free kick at half-back, just outside the defensive 50. And we'll get a 50 now.
It's against Orla Lally, so I'm guessing that's through the protected zone. I didn't see any movement on the mark, so had to be a player running through that protected area.
So 7 inside 50s to 1 in favour of Fremantle early. Bombers get their second now. They got a goal from their first entry. There's a free kick for a nudge in the contest. And they're going to get another look at their second entry. It's Emily Goff.
Let's have a look at it here. That's a pretty soft free kick, really. I think she's tripped, actually. I think she's pushed her on her shoulder and her feet have got tangled up, but umpire's just seen Emily Goff go down.
Free kick against Emma O'Driscoll. Goff, 1-1 from her 5 AFLW games. 35 out, keeps it low, and steers it through. Essendon have the opening 2 goals. Big moment early in the elimination final for the youngster, Emily Goff, the 18-year-old in her first season. She steps up and seizes it. And Essendon have got the start they hoped for.
So that's 2 against the flow, and just think that contact was made with the shoulder of Emily Goff. There was no push in the back, but in difficult conditions, that's a very nice finish. We're seeing 2 very good finishes from Essendon and 2 near misses from Fremantle down the other end.
2 inside 50s for 2 goals for the Bombers. Fremantle have gone inside 7 times for 2 behinds. That's the difference in the game right now. Essendon by 10 points. Strom, almost uncontested, went up, got the tap. Walker got it to Kane. Bombers will go inside for a 3rd time. Over the head of O'Driscoll. Some work here for Craig to do. She's taken down by Vaught. O'Driscoll on clean-up duty. Little touch kick's going to get cut off by Keeney. So Bess Keeney from 60 out. Set it up for the forwards once again. Over the hands of O'Driscoll. Pugh at the back, her handball misses Craig. Swooping in is Vaught, who's had a presence early in the game. Needs some support. Went looking for Goff by hand. Dockers have got some numbers. East, pressured by Nanscorn. Walker tracks it. Tried to slap it on. Kane comes in, ball up.
It's a good little period, this. Obviously, Fremantle have probably had the run of play, but find themselves 10 points down on the scoreboard.
Alexander in the ruck. Kane couldn't control it.
Just feel like every time they're going inside 50, there is no Fremantle Docker anywhere near Amber Clark as soon as the ball comes out of contest. That is a concern if you're a Dockers fan.
Beautiful tap from Strom down to Newton. Punched away from Kickerwack. It was a well-timed fist in there by Van Loon, and then she puts the body in, get it to the line and hold it in the front half for Essendon. Two teams met way back in round 1. It was Freo by 43 points that day at Windy Hill. A lot has changed since then. Strom's tap. Kinney came in from the back of the stoppage. Newton lays the tackle. Takes Walker to ground.
And obviously, Jace, that was the game that Bonnie and Amber Clark collided. And
heavy clash.
That was during the game, so they had to really fix things on the fly, whereas a lot of this season they've been able to plan around how they replace or sort of cover the loss of Bonnie Toogood in the forward line.
That was Clark's speed there on show. Ran Flynn down, allowed Nanscorn to get it deep inside 50. More pressure here on the Fremantle defence. Slapped away by Pugh. Working hard to try and get there is Bannister. There's a push. It's going Fremantle's way, and the Dockers need a bit of a pressure release here. They're under some pressure early.
This will be Emma O'Driscoll's 7th disposal, easily the most on ground, and she's just been the difference at the moment. I'd hate to think what the score could be in Essendon's favour if O'Driscoll wasn't sitting back there.
A shove in the ruck contest. Lena Mim strong. She's seen plenty of it early as well. This is her 5th touch. Short to McCarthy.
I like this too from Fremantle, just taking a little bit of the sting out of it, keeping it as an uncontested game.
Runnels uncertain of her options, so in the end she'll go long down the line, almost for Newton, who gathered it nicely, but turned it over by hand, and Kane fumbles it out. So 11 marks to 1 so far in the game. In favour of Freo, they've been able to just chip it around K-Mac, as you said, on a number of occasions.
Yeah, that's flipped the script a little bit to what we're used to seeing when Essendon are playing. They're number 1 in the competition for marks and uncontested possessions as well, and Fremantle well on top in both of those areas, plus 10 in fact in marks and uncontested possessions.
Very different to what we're expecting. Seth on the bounce was clean. Flips it to the outside, creates a bit of space. Newton and Strom. Good forward defence there from Morecambe, who then came in and laid the tackle as well. Well-timed fist and then the follow-up. Strong went the tap. It was nicely sharked by Walker, but her handball back into traffic. And Strong, most uncontested. McCarthy's high kick to half forward. It's a push in the contest. It's going the way of Morecambe. She goes short to Radford.
So they've covered off the options really well here, Fremantle. They're forcing Essendon to go long because there's no uncontested targets like we know they like to use.
Alexander was the target, couldn't control it in the air. Newton on the ground, then didn't hit the handball. Showed a bit of it to Nanscorn. Newton then piles in, ball spills. Kane, can she escape?
So it looks like they've gone to work. They know what they want to try and take away from Essendon Fremantle. So can Essendon find another method of attack and get the ball long to contest and win that secondary stoppage?
Right now on the inside, 7-5 clearances in favour of the Bombers. So an area that they would have been spending plenty of time focusing on. So far, so good. Chance here for the Dockers to go inside 50. Quick entry, well done by Van Loon. Ball shoveled out the bush direction. She's taken it to the ground, as was Keeney. Ball spills. Another opportunity for the Dockers to bounce it inside 50. Brown will track it back. She's got a couple of metres on Kickawack and put the pressure on. Uses the support. It's Van Loon, but her kick misses everything. It will be a throw in at half forward for Freo.
Both defences holding up pretty well so far. Anytime there's an entry that's a bit more methodical, the defence is having their say and getting the turnover.
Runnels involved again. Alexander has her wrapped up. And then the late whistle that comes in and says over the shoulder. Not officiating umpire spotted a different angle. Ellie Runnels will have it right on 50. Short kick. Intended target was Lally. Kane just throws it on the boot to get it out of the danger zone. Gamble up in front to her own advantage. Hitting it at speed was Bannister. Ran straight into trouble though. Wonderful tackle. Not easy to do at full tilt. East. In fact, it was Maddie Scanlon to McCarthy. Bannister, one of the more powerful players in the competition, had a head of steam up as well. Off Brown. Throw in. So 1:45 to play in the opening term. 2 shots apiece. It's the Bombers by 10 points.
Well, they look like they're trying to get up the ground, Essendon, and then get Fremantle out the back, trying to get that really shallow defence, get them flattened out and get the likes of Bannister, Clark or G out the back, and a couple of times, if not for some goal-saving efforts, they would have had them.
Alexander's kick, chance for G to run onto, left it behind. Going back to front because O'Driscoll has been outstanding. Newton, McCarthy tries to drive the legs, but can't get past Steph Kane.
So that's been twice now. There's been 2 brilliant intercept possessions from O'Driscoll and then a tackle from Scanlon, and if not for that, Essendon would have been out and off to the races.
Kane's kick set a task for Walker, who's beaten to it by Lowe. Runnels, look out! Just got the handball away, heard the footsteps just in time. McCarthy's handball missed Newton, who then has to go back and lay the tackle, which he does. Right on 50.
We've seen some good tackles early in this game. Pressure is up. It's an open game, but when the tackle is needing to be made, both teams are rolling up the sleeves.
It's been some good open field tackling, hasn't there? Ball flipped out only as far as Miller. Awkward bounce for Gay, almost a drop kick. Back towards a one-on-one on the wing. Morecambe got the fist in. Pressparkas cleaned up the crumb. With composure finds Brooke Brown. 35 to play in the opening term.
And that's just the first touch for Maddie Gay in that passage previous. So obviously understanding that they know they want to use her off the half-back line and guarding her nicely.
Reaching 20 a game this season. Ball gets to the back of the contest again where the Bombers have looked dangerous. Bannister turns, fashions a kick with the right boot. It's going to drift across the face. And There's still 13 seconds left for the Bombers to try and manufacture a late shot here.
Well, if you're an Essendon player here, you're just trying to get through the stoppage, cause some chaos. If you're a Fremantle player, you are locking down your goal side of your opponent and you're not allowing them to run through at all.
Strom will go against Gamble in the ruck. Elise tries to work her way to the front. Strom at the back, tapped it down. Bannister did come through at speed. Smothered off the boot of Pugh. Newton to Pugh to O'Driscoll. And Fremantle see off the late danger. But it is the Bombers by 10 points at the opening change. Great start for the visitors. Essendon 2 straight, 12. Fremantle 2 behind. Quarter time in the elimination final.
G'day folks, welcome in. There we go, it's quarter time. The Bombers, Essendon lead 2 straight goals, 12 to the Dockers, 2 behinds, 2 points. Welcome in everyone to the live, of course. Welcome in Tinane Bem, the manager in the house. I think she's just having a rest at the moment. Jenny in your heart, welcome, welcome, welcome. Nanette, good stuff. How you going? Ryan, what's going on, young fella? Cool boy plays MM2. What's happening? Essendon, you better win. I tell you what, Essendon, they look pretty good. They look pretty good early in this first quarter. They were doing all the pressing down their forward line. Now, Fremantle Dockers, though, their defence, they held up quite well for the amount of times Essendon pressed down there and they were pressing hard. I tell you what, she's a beautiful day out there at Fremantle Oval there in Perth. The sun is shining. There's a good crowd in there for the elimination final here today between Fremantle Dockers and Essendon. Of course, the winner of this game will go in and play Adelaide, who lost to North Melbourne. So that's going to be a tough game because Adelaide played pretty well. But all the teams in the finals here, AFLW action, they're all worthy opponents. And both these sides looking good. Essendon certainly looking a little bit better at the moment. All right, let me just get this. Let's go and have a look at the player stats. Let's see who's making all the way in the first and opening quarter here. Of course, Emma Driscoll there is leading the way there for Freo with 8 disposals, and Gabrielle Newton leading the way. Both of those ladies there, both on 8 disposals. Mimi Storm, as always, racks up the possessions there. She's there with 6, the best there for the Bombers. Nance Gawin with 5. She's going pretty well too. Press Parker's a little bit quiet that first term. Normally she's pretty good out there and she causes a lot of headaches to her opponents. She's just had the 4 possessions, just the 4 kicks. That's about all. There we go. It's going to be interesting for Freo when Press Parkers gets on song and gets firing up there for the Bombers, who are leading this already by 10 points. Let's just roll down, have a look at your favourite player, whoever you follow. See what possessions they've got, and we'll go back up there and have a look at the goal scorers in just a moment. And if we've got enough time, we'll head over to the team stats before the commentators come back on for the bounce of the ball. Of course, there's only about a 5-minute, 7-minute break here in between quarters, in between the first and second quarter, and of course they got about a 20-minute break at half time. There are the goal scorers. Of course, there's only 2. And they are definitely for the Bombers. Emily Goff and Amber Clark both leading the goal scorers on the ground. The only goal scorers, of course, for the Bombers. Let's head over. Have a look at the team stats, what's happening. And, of course, Fremantle, surprisingly enough, leading the disposal count, 60-46. Well, there we go. They're still above average. Essendon need to get the ball a little bit more, even though they're doing very well with the possessions they have had. There we go. Fremantle plus 10 in the kicks, plus 4 in the handballs. Surprisingly, Fremantle plus 3 inside 50s 9 times for just 2 behinds. The Bombers, though, inside 56 times for 2 goals. Disposal efficiency, a little bit low for both teams there, 60-54. We'll be looking to lift that up. Free kicks, well, it's advancing to the home team there, 6-4 hitouts. Dockers absolutely dominating the hitouts, but not really taking the advantage. 8-9, Essendon by 1 in the clearances, 1 in the centre clearances, stoppage clearances, all tied up. Looking at the contested possessions, 29-30. Both teams going in at hard, but the uncontested Fremantle finding that that loose player a little bit more. 31-15 plus 16 on the uncontested turnovers. Well, probably not too bad for both teams. 14-17. Fremantle got the marks. There we go. 3 inside 50 marks and none to Essendon. Surprisingly, tell you what, it looked to me like Essendon had the ball down their end a fair bit more. Let's just have a look at the defence. Their tackles, 19-12. Dockers doing everything reasonably well on the stats card. But, yeah, the score on the board's just not coming their way. 19-12, tackles inside 50. Both teams doing pretty well there. All right, folks, let's take you back down to the ground, and they will take us into the bounce for the second term, whereas the Bombers by 10 points.
Away from them, they just haven't been able to. They're owning inside 50s, Freo, as well, with 9-6, but they're just not making the most of their opportunities. I mean, Emma O'Driscoll has been huge across that back line. We spoke about her pre-game with the missing Ash Brazil, how important she's going to be. As we see time in forward half there, 68% to 32%. That's going against the wind.
Yep.
So, as we said, I think Lisa Webb would be very, very happy with that.
Looks like Philippa Seth has got the running job with Maddie Gay, so keep an eye on that one, guys. And just work through from Bonnie Rayner on the boundary for us. The crowd, 4,378 at Fremantle Oval, so a record crowd.
Almost double the record.
Yeah, it is. It was 3,500 before tonight, so they have smashed that. Well done to fans of the Purple Haze. Can they snare a major? We're into the second quarter.
Stoppage to begin the second term. Strong to East to beat Webster. Right start here for Fremantle. She kicks towards half forward. Lally was the target. Couldn't complete the grab. Brown goes to Gaylor. Flips a handball. Prasparkas needed to be quick and was. Alexander. Touch kick good to Kane.
That little kick across the face of 50, when you turn it over there, it's so hard to defend. So missing that kick really opens you up.
Kane was looking for Vaught, but dropping into the hole. It was Ash McCarthy. Will launch it long. Flat and hard to 50. It'll get over the back. Strong. Handball over the top. O'Sullivan to run onto it. Has some support. Beaten Webster tried to get it back to her. Handball knocked down. Nanscorn came crashing in. Solid contact as players from both teams commit the body. Beaten Webster. And Nanscorn, fortunately, it ended up being shoulder to shoulder.
I don't like to see that from either player. Leading with their head, you've got to protect your own head as well as the opponent's. If either one of them turn their body there, the other one ends up making contact with the hip or the side and leaves them in a really vulnerable position.
It's dangerous, isn't it? Gaylor. Prasparkas. Nanscorn. Here's East to Scanlon. Smothered off her boot. Back into the congestion. Bombers can win it out though. G links up with her good friend Prasparkas, and then high kick to the wing. O'Driscoll been outstanding. 10 touch for Emma coming up.
Yeah, she's just set up the anchor back there, hasn't she? She's reading the ball off the boot really well and just going, knowing she needs to impact.
Area to half forward. Morecambe over the top of O'Sullivan. Got it to ground. Sweeping through was Brown to Morecambe to Keeney. Pokes it down the line. Vaught had to stand and wait. Ball slapped out in the O'Driscoll direction again. Beaten Webster links up with McCarthy. Now Verrier onto the right boot. A floater towards half forward. It gets past Antonio. M now gets back onto it. Soccer's to advantage. Heading goalward. Ebony Antonio, another soccer. Can she make it a third effort? Throws her boot at it. Just misses to the left.
Well, the Perth Glory home base is here, and that could have been a Perth Glory passage of play. She nearly got that curl on it towards the end as well, and it just dribbled around the corner and ended up behind. But you can see the team kicking to the left of screen. They are going to be dangerous if they get out the back.
Ball to the wing quickly for the Bombers. To a one-on-one contest. Strom up in front. 8th touch for Mim coming up. As I mentioned, 30 touches, her career best last week. Just in sizzling form. Scanlon looks inside for Pugh. It was a well-weighted kick and it needed to be. G and Nanscorn were both sweating on it. McCarthy back to Pugh. Pops it inside 50 towards the pocket. Antonio from anywhere. Air bounces goalward. Hits the behind post.
I really like the way that Fremantle are working the ball up the ground. the kick mark game, which we typically do see from Essendon. But the other thing that it stops is Essendon flood their defensive 50, so they love to get numbers in front of the contest and deep. So by doing that, they're making Essendon stay accountable and come further up the ground to defend, leaving one-on-ones ahead of the ball.
Miller goes in the ruck against Dyke. Alexander and O'Sullivan towards the pocket.
So those numbers, plus 21 for the game, uncontested possession in Fremantle's favour, and plus 13 for marks, which, as I said, is just moving the defenders up the ground and making them more accountable so they can't drop off.
Winner through to face Adelaide in a sudden death semi next weekend. The loser is done for 2024. Strom and Dyke over the back. Prasparkas. Pugh versus Vaught. Pugh wins it. Nowhere for Newton to go, and she's punished. Free kick goes to Steph Kane. Kane short to Nanscorn. As Kanak mentioned, the Bombers lead. Short kicks, uncontested marks, uncontested disposals. Prasparkas looking sore.
Very sore in her hip there.
Gives it off to Kane. A handball from Clark might come unstuck. Coming the other way, Lally. Now to Antonio. Ev not much to go to, so she buys herself some time. Then the kick is cut off by Keeney as Prasparkas still struggling.
This is a huge story. Maddie Prasparkas has hardly made her way through.
Here's Miller. Open goal. Gets Frio's first. So potentially a double whammy for the Dockers. They get the opening goal and Maddie Prasparkas is limping to the bench. Margin back to 3 points. It's been a really bright start to the second quarter for Fremantle.
Well, they've set up shop in the defensive 50. Essendon and Hayley Miller, that closing distance, the closing speed came through and got the intercept, but this is the injury. Super innocuous. Pulled up with that right hip, grabbed straight at the hip flexor, and in the time that it took for Maddie to get off the ground, that's real concerns for Essendon. First of all, conceding the goal, but that did not look good for Maddie Prasparkas.
She's in enormous pain on the boundary as well. Here from Anna Hayes shortly as soon as we have something to report.
Really struggled to move getting off the ground too.
And Scorn's going to have to come back behind the mark to take the kick. So the margin back to 3 points. Dockers on the board. Brilliant intercept work from Hayley Miller. Former skipper kicks their first of the afternoon. And Scorn scurries away. Slices the kick towards half forward. It's cut off. Driscoll didn't complete it. Bombers have now got some numbers at the fall of the ball. Vaught leaves it for Bush. Pop the handball in the Gay direction. Wins the football, does it well. Bannister got the hands free. Back to Vaught. She pokes towards the pocket. Gamble comes out. It pitches just in front. Pure be first back. Gets the Shepherd from Kikawat. Smuggler comes from Vaught. Kikawat goes again. Out to McCarthy. She finds Seth at half back. Seth scurries away. Has to kick to a 2-on-1. Antonio forced to spoil, but mark taken by Morecambe in front.
So Morecambe's having to play this intercept role because Amy Mulholland's doing a fantastic job on Maddie Gay running that defensive forward tagging role.
Morecambe's kicked to half forward. Gamble takes the contested grab in the pack. Has it just outside 50. Into the hole there was Radford. Couldn't complete the grab. Had more time than she realised. Kick bounces back towards the wing. Gay lays the Shepherd, then receives the handball from Brown. Smothered off her boot. Nanscorn. Only as far as McCarthy. Puts it out into space. Beaten Webster. Uses strong. Goes for a run. Pops it over the top. Brown first back there for the Bombers. O'Sullivan works hard to get there. Beats two, Gabby O'Sullivan. Tries to spin out. Needs some support. They pile it on top. Well played, Gabby O'Sullivan.
That effort from Gabby O'Sullivan there, 2-on-1. Everyone was holding goal side from Essendon and she just put her head down, made that footy hers. That was very, very good.
Strong down to East. Gaylor. East saw. See there.
The 2-on-1 collects the possession.
Kaufman tried to bust through. Radford. Runnels. Lally. Bounces goalward. Well done by Clark. Had to come forward to attack it. That got past. Kikowak was goal side. It's still there for the Dockers. Bannister's got to put some pressure on. Lally managed to shake free. Didn't hit the handball as she'd like though. G applies pressure. In comes Bush. The Bombers' defence successfully scrambles. Strom and Dyke. Radford extracts it. Kick from G. Scanlon flips it to Lowe. She bends it back inside 50, but Sophie Alexander takes it on the chest.
And whilst you look at the numbers for the quarter, 5 inside 50s to 3 doesn't really jump out at you, but then you look at the disposals inside forward 50. Fremantle have had 15 inside their forward 50. Essendon, a single disposal.
Goff to Radford. Pugh versus Clark. Socket off the deck. It might work here for Nanscorn. Morecambe to Bush. She pokes the kick to Walker.
Great kick to get a mark in their front half here.
Gaylor pulls the kick inside 50. I think G might have been the target or Goff. G now at ground level, has some space. Gets it to Jackie Vaught. She'll hoist it high. They'll compete 25 out from goal. Gay in the middle of that pack. Ball hits the deck. It's a throw. It's against Maddie Gay. It's going Freo's way to Philippa Seth.
Maddie Gay happy to push all the way inside that forward 50 to try and get her hands on the footy and run that offside run.
Scanlon to Runnels. Run from behind comes from Joe Craig. Searching kick to the wing. You can see what Kikowak was trying to do. Get it over the back. Pressure came late from Clark, affected the kick. A turnover to Essendon, the result, but she is so athletic, Tanisha Kikowak. Still so raw, playing just game 10. As we head down to Anna Hay with an update on Maddie Prasparkas.
Yeah, I do. So just heard from the Bombers camp that she's being assessed for a corky. She's been working with the physio. She's just doing some run through, so looks like she might get back out there shortly.
That would be great news for the Bombers. They can ill afford to be without the gun ball winner. Clark's kick smothered off the boot. Well done, Kikowak. Bush. Alexander to Clark. Vaught attacked it at speed. Now can't quite find it on the ground. Scanlon comes in to provide a contest. Ball almost pops out in the Mia Bush direction. She has it now, but she can't escape with it. Strom uses the body, takes it from the ruck. Kaufman the target. She marks in front of Morecambe. Has a runner from the back, but the handball went behind Miller. Has some time to go and find it. Kick comes off the side of the boot. Pitches and bounces out inside 50, so it'll be a throw in, not last touch.
Just a few skill errors letting them down at the moment. Fremantle, that's 2 or 3 times they've had a runner for overlap hands and they've gone behind them with the handball, so just need a little bit more composure to get that deep entry.
It's Maddie Prasparkas patrolling the boundary line. Still a look of concern on her face. Dyke's tap, taken by Radford. Nice gather from Vaught. Clark wants to light the Jens. Can she get free? She can't. Flynn did well. They still managed to get it forward to a one-on-one. Kick not to the advantage of Bannister, and that's really well read by Lowe. She needed to mark that. Bannister was lurking.
Yeah, she was set up well in a defensive position. Just needed the kicker to lower their eyes, and Bannister would have been able to lead up and get a really easy mark rather than kicking it to the defender's advantage.
Eddie Scanlon floats it down the line. The whistle's gone. It's going to be a free kick downfield for a hold going Freo's way.
They were going to pay advantage then if Mim Strom took it. The umpire didn't blow their whistle to come back over the mark until Strom stopped running after the ball, so a little bit more game awareness there and Strom could have been out.
Newton now has it. Assesses the options and just pops it inside 50. Past Gaylor. Antonio almost. Umpire says play on, knocked out in the tackle. Alexander. Gets it to Morecambe. She finds Bannister pushing up high to half-back. 2-on-2 on the wing. Kane in front takes the grab.
It's a great grab. We've seen how many intercept marks O'Driscoll has already taken in this game.
Kick not quite as good though. Bombers managed to hold it up. Nowhere for O'Driscoll to go as she's sandwiched.
They're doing a good job here, Essendon, at holding up. A lot of the entries the last sort of 5 minutes have been really shallow entries from Fremantle inside their forward 50, so haven't been able to make the most of them, and then they're rebounding back at them.
McCarthy's kicked straight into traffic. Stayed in the congestion. Strom's tap was heading for McCarthy. It was well read by Walker. Kane straight into Strom. 4 minutes to play in the opening half. A low-scoring struggle here. Runnels, Saltberry into trouble. Bannister arrived at speed.
This is exactly what you want from your half forward, just standing at the back of the contest, ready to nail a backwards handball.
Walker again, sharks the tap. Nowhere for Keeney to go. Did find the boot. Bannister bundled off it by Lowe. Crashing in hard was Gay. Feels like something's got to give here.
Just about to say it, the crowd's starting to get involved. They need something here, Fremantle, to make the most of this advantage that they've got with the breeze.
Eddie Gay got up a little sore. The kick from Strom. Was it touched by anyone? It was not, so it will be an Essendon ball. Coming back to take the kick will be Brooke Brown. Yeah. Here's Maddie Prespakis heading to the rooms. Really struggling. So they're going to try to release whatever the issue is, or at least work on it at half-time and hope for the best.
She's gone down with the player development manager too, Lawrence Sparks, so that's probably an indication that that's Maddie done for the day. She would be going into the rooms with the doctors or the physio if that was for more medical treatment.
Point Lawrence Spark, former Bulldog. Kane takes the tackle from McCarthy. This has just been a sustained passage of relentless pressure from both teams. Hard to get time and space for a kick here, even a handball in Strom's case. Bush now faces the same problem. She's got Gabby Newton backpacking her. Strom again the tap. You can see coming through at speed was East to try and clear that congestion. She now turns tackler on Radford and the wrestle continues.
And just to highlight the importance of that injury, Maddie Prespakis has been off the ground for a good 3/4 of this second term. She's still the second most disposals leader on the ground for Essendon with 9.
Low to Newton, to half forward. Van Loon needs support. Radford's there to provide it, but the ball spills Seth's direction. McCarthy to Lally. Over the back, it's all Bombers. Morecambe's going to be first back there. Runnels is the best chance to put some pressure on for Fremantle. Alex will look up. She's got some support. Doesn't go the required distance, so it puts Keeney under a little bit of pressure. G left it behind. Good close here from Fremantle. Put the pressure on. Keeney comes in with the tackle on Verrier. The Dockers have taken 80 metres of territory here.
Yet another strong tackle there. There's Keeney wrapping up Verrier. You thought if she drove her legs through that, she was out.
Alexander's kick past McCarthy. Nanscorn. There's a power of work to do now with Prespakis out of the action. 75 seconds to play. The second term. Bombers clinging to a 3-point lead. Shots at goal have been really hard to come by. Bannister's handball got to the back. O'Driscoll was stripped. Clark wants to explode away. She's ripped off the kick. East got it down. Lally gathered. Got it to Strom. 48 out. Kicks to a 2-on-1. Turns the defence around. Brown to be first back there, and that's actually a good result for the Dockers, as they'll get a stoppage at the top of the goal square with 52 seconds to play.
Just need some more composure going forward. Kim Strom had a mark at the top of 50 with the entire 50 to work into for her forwards, and they're coming up so high up the ground they need some time to reset and lead.
Kane got there just before Newton. Some of the fence need to be tidy here. And someone come through and hit it at speed. You can see Newton setting up off the back. O'Sullivan likewise. There is O'Sullivan. She almost got through. Bombers did a good job to close the exit. Another opportunity here for Freo. Strong this time out of the ruck. Grabs it and goals! of the second term. And Mim Strom said, I'll just try to clear the congestion myself.
Well, there's a few times now she's been able to take the ball out of the ruck, and really good presence of mind from her, knowing that she's got the ascendancy in there, so why not give it a go? Took it out of the ruck, and she's doing everything herself, Mim Strom. She's had 14 disposals, 30 hit-outs, 3 clearances, 10 contested possessions as well. She's got the hand up over Alexander, who's the secondary ruck, and controlled that beautifully. That was really, really good ruck craft.
First goal of the season for Mim Strom. She's kicked 1-3 now, and it's a timely one with 32 seconds to play.
And you just wonder if that was an element of her game she worked on a little bit during the week. Kicked 3 behinds last week and able to kick the major this week.
It's the second of her 61-game career, and it comes at the perfect time for Fremantle. Gives them the lead late. Maybe time for Essendon here. Gay's got the free kick. Will need to move it quickly, and does. Searching for an option inside 50. Gamble went up. Was she held? It's going the other way. Dockers will have it. Should be able to see off the danger here through Emma O'Driscoll. To the wing for Strong. Pushing the back. 3-0 free kick. And it is half-time in the elimination final.
So the winner to play the Crows in Adelaide next weekend. It's been a real scrappy tug of war, and the Dockers, the home side, snare the lead for the first time in the last minute of that opening half. 2-3-15 to Essendon, 2 straight 12. It's a margin of 3 points after Essendon led by 2 points at quarter time. Mim Strom, we spoke about her in the pre-match, has been the star for the home side with a goal and her 14 disposals. It's they say defence wins premierships, and this has been a real dour defensive struggle. Daniel Harford and Ruby Slicher up until half time.
Tough to move the ball into the breeze, so both teams have had challenges with that. Fremantle did it, I think, better in the first quarter than Essendon did in the second quarter, but both teams have been able to hold on defensively when they're going, when the opposition's going with the breeze route. So 2 goals each for both teams with the breeze. Nothing really in this game whatsoever.
No, not really. And I mean, just there we see opportunities. Mim Strom, Hayley Miller getting those goals on the board. But a lot of that play in the second quarter, we saw Essendon's numbers, the numbers closest to goal, and Fremantle really high up the ground. So it is really hard. I mean, they're playing a lot in their forward half, but nothing really convincing at the moment.
Let's have a look at the halftime highlights, all thanks to Chemist Warehouse. And the highlights were those 2 goals in that second turn.
Absolutely. We see Hayley Miller here, just a really good defensive effort, electricity in the feet to get that intercept, bring it to ground, and we know she's a classy finisher as well in front of goal. And then this one here, Mim Strom, I mean, just add that to her 14 disposals and 30 hit-outs if you don't mind. So she's on track at the moment to set the new single-game record. I think the record at the moment is 48.
I'm just looking at that. So she's going to crack 50. The record is 48. Well done, you.
Thank you very much.
Pat on the back to Ruby Slicher. That's why she's sitting here. Let's get down to Bonnie Rayner on the boundary, because obviously Maddie Pressparker's had that injury, and it looked it was an odd one, wasn't it?
Looked like nothing happened. She just landed on her right leg, and all of a sudden she's limping off in all sorts of distress. So Bonnie hopefully has an update for us.
Let's get down on the boundary right now. Bonnie, what is the latest?
Yeah, such a huge blow for the Bombers, of course, Kel. Maddie Pressparker spent such a large period of that term on the bench, but what I think got lost behind play was that she did actually return to the field. She was crumbing on the wing and trying to get a loose ball from the stoppage. She changed directions 2 to 3 times, immediately put her hand up in the air and returned straight to the bench, and that was when she went down into the rooms with the player development manager. So that looks as though her day could be done. The Bombers are yet to rule the line through her, of course, clinging to hope that they can find a way to get their star ball winner back out there. But she did return, as I mentioned, and just looked absolutely no good for the minute or so that she was back out there. So I'm still chasing an updated crowd figure, but it's well over that 4,500 mark. So a big record here at Fremantle Oval.
It certainly is, and that's great scenes, obviously, in the West for this elimination final. Thanks very much to Bonnie. What impact does it have? I mean, there's no Bonnie too good. We know Wales, their number 1 ruck, is out as well. And now at half-time with the game in the balance, it's do or die. Who comes into the middle? What are you thinking if you're Natalie Wood?
Yeah, well, she's obviously a pretty important player, Maddie Prespakis. But I think the obvious one is, I think you throw Maddie Gay into the middle. She's being tagged off the half-back. We saw her sneaking up forward, just trying to get her hands on the ball. So I think it's a no-brainer to put Maddie Gay in the middle. She's a classy and a smooth mover. Allow her to get that confidence on ball, sort of give her a rein, see if the tag goes with her, and if not, let her get to work half.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, she's a class act. She's the match winner. So right now, Natalie Wood's thinking, okay, how do we win this game? With Prespakis out, she had 9 disposals, equal game high, 4 clearances to half time. How are we going to win this game? Maddie Gay is the player that can change the game for the Bombers and drive the game forward. She's a real go-forward player. She's a fantastic clean possession winner, uses the ball well, good decision maker. So if we can get the ball in her hands like they would for Maddie Prespakis, just change the jumper number and the player, give that same role to Maddie Gay, I think they can really cause some damage in the second half.
Okay, well, we've got back-to-back AFLW finals, of course, tomorrow afternoon. And in the cricket, it is the series decider in the ODIs between Pakistan and Australia from Perth.
There's a lot to look forward to in this summer.
All right, we'll be back with the commentators in just a moment. Folks, random stuff, how you going? Welcome in. I tell you what, this is, as I said, a quarter time. This is an absolute arm wrestle. Both defences holding up really strong. Of course, Essendon failed to score in that second term. The Dockers, though, 2 goals, 1. They did really, really well. One smart bit of work by the ruckman, took it out of the ruck, snapped for goal, and kicked a sausage roll, which was fantastic. And then the next bit of play was when the Essendon defender kicked it sort of across the face of goal a little bit, and of course it was intercepted by the Dockers player who ran into the open goal. And that's how Fremantle got their 2 goals in the second term. 2 goals, 3-15 to 2 goals straight Essendon. They were saying that there's a little bit of a breeze that the Dockers kicked with in that term. I didn't really notice it too much there watching it. I think both teams have, they got their chances no matter what end they're kicking to, which way they're going to. But if that's the case, Essendon will have a little bit of the breeze in the third term. As I was saying, Maddie Prespakis is off the ground. It's like a corky, just under her hip. I don't know why, she just landed wrong on it, but there we go. I tell you what, if she doesn't play out this game, that could be fatal for the Bombers. As I said, she's a ball magnet. She's one of the star classy players for Essendon, Maddie Prespakis. We'll just have to wait and see whether she can get back on the field. By all visions, though, it didn't really look too promising. She was in a lot of pain when they touched that spot, so that's not good for Bombers fans, but it is good news for the Dockers fans if Maddie Prespakis is off the ground. Let's just check in now with the goal scorers, and of course Mimi Storm and Hayley Miller there, 2 goal scorers there for Freo, and of course Emily Goff and Amber Clark are the goal scorers there for the Bombers. Looking at the disposal count now, Mimi Storm, as always, racking up the possessions. She's top of the table now for Freo with 14. Emma O'Driscoll there, and Alison McCarthy next best on 12. Gabby Newton on 11. Ali Reynolds on 10. Of course, Georgie Nance-Gawain tops the table for the Bombers on 10. So the top 5 are all from Freo. Let's just roll down the board, have a look at your players, see who you like. Random, well, he reckons Freo's going to win. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think Freo's my tip from here on in. I thought the way Essendon were going in the first term, I thought Essendon may be the team to beat. But as I said, with that injury of Maddie Prespakis and going off the ground, I don't know, tell you what, she's going to take some effort to get back on the ground and play out a full 4 quarters if she can manage that. Let's just see, as I said, there we go. Fremantle Dockers on disposal count. Team stats, they're plus 15 in that area, plus 14 for the kicks, only 1 for the handball. Inside 50s, though, 19 inside 50s for Fremantle for their 5 scoring shots. The Bombers, 11 inside 50s for just 2 scoring shots. Both teams' disposal efficiency, both dropped off a little bit in that second term, both under 60. They want to try and push that up if they can, up to around 65, 67%, which would be a lot better there. The free kicks, wasn't too many in that second term, 10-7. Fremantle plus 3, the home team. But have a look at the hitouts, folks. 31-9. That's dominating by the Fremantle team, but as I said, at quarter time, they're not using that the domination in the headhouse to advantage. As you can see, clearances 15 apiece. Essendon actually +2 in the centre clearances. Pardon me. There we go. All right, let's have a look at the contested possessions. Yeah, well, it's 6 to the Dockers, 13 uncontested. So Essendon closing that gap a little bit more. Turnovers starting to trickle in a little bit for both teams. 28 to 16 in the marks, 3 to 1 inside 50 marks to Fremantle. All right, let's head back down to the ground, see what the commentators have got to say before we head into the bounce of the ball for the third quarter. Fremantle by 3 points. They're just listening to the North Melbourne song who won last night. Well done to them. All right, let's get back down to the commentators.
Oiled machine, North Melbourne are, and I think we're forgetting they're missing their 8-time All-Australian Emma Carney off the half-back. So she was still out with that hamstring. She was close but didn't quite get there. We imagine she'll come back in for the finals. They'll be hopeful, but I think their mid to forward half connection is incredible, and it's really hard to stop. It's going to be hard to stop for any team in the competition.
Injuries for all teams, but did Danielle Ponta look a little proppy on her ankle last night?
She did. From the start of the game, she kicked the first goal for Adelaide, I think it was, and then went to the centre bounce and limped to the centre bounce, and then didn't have much of an impact after that at all. So I reckon they'll be keeping an eye on how well she pulls up after the game last night, because if she's not there next week, it's going to be a huge problem for Adelaide, regardless of who they play.
Yeah, and will Emma Carney be there in a fortnight? And of course, there's no Bonnie Toogood tonight, and Ash Brazel was a late withdrawal tonight. So they're dropping like flies, the big names, but still plenty to play in this second half, not too far away. And of course, the finals continue tomorrow. It starts at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Hawks and the Brisbane Lions at Icon Park. We'll see you then on Fox Footy. The elimination final hanging in the balance at the main break in front of a record crowd at Fremantle Oval, 4,806. Hold on to your hats. Here we go with the second half.
So Sullivan to Miller. Lost her footing. There's Nanscorn getting back to provide support to Keeney. Trying to get Maddie Gay maybe into the game. Quite first half by her standards. Career best season.
And that's got to be a win for Fremantle. They've sent Mulholland to her to run that tagging role. Gay has just had the 5 disposals till half-time, and then they've had to move her into the midfield to try and get her up around the footy.
Played midfield with distinction at Melbourne. Miller pops it over to Jess Lowe. Bounces it towards O'Sullivan, or Laleen arrives. Bot just in time. Nanscorn over the top.
And so whilst that looks like, okay, they've put her around the ball to get some impact, it does disrupt the way they want to move the footy. They want to intercept it off half-back, chip the ball up the ground. So who will play that role now?
Tat gets a free kick for a hole. In fact, it's going the other way. Umpire pointed in the wrong direction. It's going to be Scott Strom. Strom the half forward. Beanweg Webster comes out. Coming the other way was Nanscorn. It's a free kick for a high shot. In the middle of the ground, dangerous ball. McCarthy in one direction, Clark the other. Kane the beneficiary. Pulled in by Gay. Quick kick. Clark again involved here. Has some speed. Looks up, kicks high towards the pocket. Goff's the target, couldn't quite complete the grab. Does well at ground level. Dribbles a kick through in the Vaught direction. Freo get numbers back. Vaught picks up the football. Feeds it back. Goff. Clark. Wrong side of the boot. Misses the lot.
And again, like I said in the first term, Amber Clark, she's the one that looks the most threatening for the Bombers. That was a beautiful kick to the advantage of Goff, who just couldn't complete the grab. Would have had a set shot at goal, but looks dynamic. Then got to the next contest to have another shot.
Strom against Goff. McCarthy against Kane. Steph wins it. Ash wraps her up. Essendon with the first 2 goals of the game with the breeze in the opening term. Freo with the next 2 with the breeze in the second. Essendon have it at their backs now. Strom to Flynn. Gaylor tried to crash through the traffic, couldn't quite make it all the way. Set taken down by Nanscorn. Strom out of the ruck, but couldn't clear it this time. It's been half an hour since Essendon's last goal. Crowd built up to around 5,000 here at Fremantle Oval. Just waiting for something to explode about from a Fremantle perspective. Bombers fighting on. Maddie Prespakis at this point receiving some attention to her right hip. Van Loon. O'Sullivan tries to sweep onto it. Gaylor ripped her off the football. It was a late whistle, but it came eventually. Free kick, Gabby O'Sullivan.
And Gabby O'Sullivan, on the other hand, being the forward that looks the most dynamic for Fremantle.
Lovely weighted kick to Beanweg Webster. Call to go now. Coming in hard is Kane. She doesn't realise. Gets crunched and gone. So the umpire clearly called play on. Beanweg Webster had no idea she was a sitting duck. Kane picked her off. Low beats G. O'Driscoll flips it on. McCarthy links up with Strom. Advantage could have been paid. It's going to come back. O'Driscoll dealt with late.
So despite not having the advantage of the breeze, even in the first quarter, we did see Fremantle able to move the ball nicely up the ground, whereas Essendon in that second term really struggled to get it over halfway.
Scraps gets it to Runnels, who squeezes it through some traffic. Terrible bounce from Van Loon. Beanweg Webster couldn't control it either. Van Loon to Brown. Handball smothered. O'Sullivan feeds it through. Now a look for Gabby Newton. Can she steer it inside the post? Well done by Gaylor getting back. Marks just inside the line.
It's important, goal square to goal square running from your far side winger, sliding all the way back to take that.
Gaylor's kick only as far as O'Sullivan. And Marks right on 50. Wanted to move it quickly, but lost her footing.
A lot of Essendon numbers in the forward 50 for Fremantle.
Antonio offered a lead. Now tracks back to the square, almost got a look at it. It gets over the back. Miller smothered off her boot. Antonio. This is right. So there's the free kick. Bean Webster lit up by Steph Kane.
It had to be a time free kick, as in she'd taken a full 7 seconds and not having a shot on goal, because she certainly didn't move off the line.
King and Anscorn. Anscorn, hit up kick is good for Dyke. Patient ball movement here from the Bombers. Dyke forced to hoist it high, got close to the player on the mark. Gamble came out, couldn't complete the grab. Fed backwards. Flynn to Newton. Fly over the top. Came from Vaught. Front and centre was Kaufman. O'Sullivan will go against Brown. Brown uses the support. It's Van Loon. O'Sullivan does well. Sockets it forward. Runnels can grab it and run into an open goal. Emily Runnels gathers goals. Dockers get a buffer. First goal of the game into the breeze to the right of screen goes Fremantle's way. And they're out to a 10-point lead early in the third term. Came back when you kicked 4-9 in your AFLW career. This is where you want them.
How is this effort from Gabby O'Sullivan, though? She's been outnumbered on multiple occasions this afternoon, and she, through just sheer will and determination, has got the ball forward. She's won contest after contest, and then Ellie Runnels, she looks like she's just shocked that it's gone through. I don't know if she didn't hit it properly or...
Wasn't exactly a trademark drop punt, was it?
Absolutely not. Maybe that's her trademark celebration, to be shocked. Important goal, that one, because it's the first goal we've seen kicked to the right of screen against this heavy breeze that is favouring the end that Essendon are going towards at the moment.
Sullivan almost broke free again there. She's looking like the X Factor at the moment.
And it's through just sheer hard work. She's just puts her name on the footy, runs over it, and anyone that gets in her way, she lays a tackle or puts pressure on, or she wins the ball herself.
Here is O'Sullivan again, coming through from the back. Nanscorn going the other way. Georgia working overtime. But just talk to us through the combination of Pressparkis and Nanscorn, and you take one away and what it does to the other.
Yeah, so up until halftime, they'd both had 4 clearances. Now, without Pressparkis on the ground, the clear clearance player for the Essendon is going to be Nanscorn, so Fremantle can just make sure they take care of her and try and get that job done inside.
Ball spits forward for Clark. Through the hands of Scanlon. She has the boundary line as her friend and uses it.
So she's going to receive so much more attention at stoppage now without that 1-2 punch of having Maddie Pressparkis in there as well. And so many times when Nanscorn wins the first possession, it'll be a handball chain out to Pressparkis to then send the ball forward.
Can Essendon manufacture something here? They trail by 10 points, have the breeze. Smothered off the boot of Strong by Walker. That was really clever play from Brooke Walker. And she comes up with the inspiration. They're going to confer. Freo saying it was touched off the boot. I'll call both boundary umpires in to see if they got an angle. How do they call this? Big moment in the elimination final.
I think they're just waiting for confirmation from the ball tracking technology.
So no definitive answer from the umpires. Here's another look. So the hands of Scanlon certainly in the vicinity.
So they'll compare that then with the data they get from the ball. So if there's any force exerted on the ball, they'll then combine that with the vision that we are seeing, with the exact moment that it goes past the hands, if there's any force applied to the ball to know whether it's touched or not.
So there'll be force off Walker's boot. Is there more force from the fingers there of Maddie Scanlon? They have a result. It's a goal. So Brooke Walker, with a moment of inspiration, takes it off the boot of Strong, squeezes it through the tightest of gaps, And the Bombers back within 4 points. Exactly what Essendon needed. Anna Hay, a developing story on the boundary line.
Yeah, so Persparkas has just gone onto the bike. She's talking to the physio. The word from the Bombers is they're trying to keep her warm and trying to get her back out there.
Looking a little forlorn still is Maddie Persparkas. Her side's back within 4 points. Desperately needed goal. Gives them a boost, but away comes Scanlon. Just nudged off her kick slightly. The goal kicker Walker tidies it up. Bush taken high.
Such an important goal for Essendon. That was completely against the run of play that we've seen in this third term.
Just gives them a boost of adrenaline and belief. Walker shovels it forward for Gaylor. Can she get the hands free? Good tackle came from O'Driscoll. I'd say the same from Newton, who came in over the top, lays the tackle and gets the reward. Free kick against Matilda Dyke. Newton goes looking for Strom. Bradford on the bounce, stripped a bit by East.
This has gone up a notch here, Jace. There's little spot fires breaking out everywhere with players just bodying each other and real finals feeling. Obviously, this is win at all costs, so really gone up a level here.
Season on the line as McCarthy tries to barge her way through. Winner heads to Adelaide for a sudden death first semi-final. Loser is done for 2024. Strong, smothered off her boot by Radford. First back is Gaylor, runs into McCarthy, umpire said illegally. Free kick, Amy Gaylor. Goes down the line, past Walker. Bannister lurking at the back. Really well played by Flynn to get there first. Kick back in the Newton direction, she's disposed of it. Kane, Vaught. Heavy collision inside 50. Two Bombers players thunder into each other. Craig goes short to O'Driscoll.
And that was so identical to the contest we saw when these two teams played at Windy Hill. Amber Clark going back with the flight and Goff coming through the other way.
So it's Toogood and Clark in round one. It would have been Gamble and Clark there. Clark's still down. She suffered a concussion in that incident in round one. So they will have a really good, long, hard look at Amber. Meanwhile, the ball's with Kaufman.
Just watching Maddie Persparkas on the boundary trying to do some run-throughs, but she looks so sore. She can hardly get out of a jog without sort of putting on a limp. So that could be two players that they're down.
As Clark's coming to the boundary for further assessment. Gay needs to be tidy against Antonio. Ebony puts the pressure on. Can't affect the kick. Keeney takes it as Clark comes to the bench for further assessment. Some Bombers right now down a couple, but fighting on. It's a 4-point game. Radford coming in off the bench was Goff. Arriving just in time was Pugh. Makes a big play. Goff wins the day. Gets it to Vaught. Will kick to a one-on-one deep inside 50. Gamble tracked it in the air. It gets over the back. Flynn versus Gamble. Flynn gathers. Short kick pitches in front of Reynolds. Now she's got a problem. Bombers come from all sides. Umpire calls for it.
Thought she was in trouble there. Took the ball when she was on the ground and then dragged it back under.
Courage again from Amber Clark. Strong away from the congestion. Seth works hard to get there before the line. Bush tries to corral. Awkward handball, nicely gathered from McCarthy. Kick doesn't go the required distance, so forced to give it back. Keeney got in the way. Now Mia Bush to half forward. Newton looks to have this covered. She's got Gamble there for company. Flips it inside to Flynn. Her handball missed Strom. So she soccers off the ground. Only as far as Keeney, who pokes it back inside 50 to a 2-on-2. Well done low. Slips away from Bannister. Gaylor, great grab. And it's the Bombers now with some sustained front half pressure.
Yeah, they're able to turn the ball over at halfway and go back at them if they can get a deep entry here.
Gaylor looking for that. Goff will have to fly from the back, created the stoppage. Bannister's clever from any angle. Bounces a goal and puts it through. And the Bombers are back in front. She is such a clever finisher, Daria Bannister. Hasn't had a huge impact on the game just yet, but she is a player that values quality over quantity. Damage with just a handful of possessions. She's given the Bombers the lead.
Well, it was a great kick in from Brooke Walker because she just put it deep to the top of the goal square. What that allows is your players to go to work. The defenders are under pressure, and you can get little kicks like that just end up with snaps on goal.
Let's head to Anna Hay, boundary side.
In a big blow, Maddie Prasparkas has been ruled out with that hip issue, so her day is done.
Wait for latest news on Amber Clark as well, who's come off for assessment. Taylor with a big tackle on Verrier. The Bombers have got a surge here of adrenaline and belief. After being flat for about 35 minutes without a goal, they get the first one and they turn one into two.
Yeah, well, you think they're going to have to kick probably another one in the last part of this term at least. One with the breeze at their back, but two with two players down now on the bench, potentially with Amber Clark undergoing more assessment.
I'll get another opportunity here. Vaught came out. She looks a little sore as well, landed awkwardly. And she gets up with a slight limp. Here's another look. So Jackie Vaught, the 30-year-old from Terrelgan in Gippsland, Victoria.
And we spoke to Bonnie Toogood pre-game, and Jackie's been the one that's been able to play that real hybrid marking role as a forward. And it just gives the kicker a target forward of the footy to kick it towards.
41st game this afternoon. She's kicked 12-8 in her AFLW career. Never a more important one than this. 45 out. Sets it to the square. In fact, it floated over the back. Unfortunately for the Dockers, just misses right.
Felt like if she got a little bit more momentum through that, she probably could have used the breeze to her advantage a little bit more, probably trying to be a little bit selfless and put it to the top of the square, but with the breeze at her back, I would have backed Jackie in to kick that one.
Yeah, really carried, didn't it? Maybe surprised herself with that. Pugh's kick spills out off Dyke and Strong. So 3:35 to play in the third term. Essendon have their noses back in front.
And you can guarantee the Fremantle players in the fourth term, if they mark the ball in a similar area, knowing the breeze like they do as this is their home ground, they're going to roll and go there and have a shot.
Throw in, holds up in the breeze. Dyke had unfettered access. East's kick cut off. Quick kick bounces inside 50. Here's Vaught. Snaps goalward. Does she get the bounce? This is right again. So Jackie Vaught stepping up. No Bonnie Toogood, no Steph Wales, no Maddie Prasparkas, no Amber Clark. Of course, Dockers without Kiara Bauer, who's missed the season through pregnancy, and Stannett, their captain, with an ACL. On your tie as well. So both teams missing some frontliners. Fighting for survival here. Kick from McCarthy, cut off by Gaylor. Wheels and goes from 55. Gamble and Goff both involved. Pugh pokes the kick. O'Sullivan lands awkwardly.
Annie Gaylor having a huge third term. 6 possessions, the most on the ground for the Bombers. Jackie Vaught just after her with the 5.
Sullivan low and flat to the outer wing. Morecambe versus Antonio. McCarthy gathers inside the line. Pressure from Vaught. Bends the kick back to the wing. Past Seth and Clark. Clark flipped it on. Now Kane's got to go against Runnels.
How valuable is Ash McCarthy with a kick like that into the breeze? Gets so much purchase on it. Gets metres gain that we haven't seen, sort of kicking to the right of screen like that, and now they've got a stoppage on the wing.
And there's Strom out of the ruck this time, creates the path for O'Sullivan, floats it to half forward. Kaufman couldn't complete the grab. Shoulder to shoulder with Bush, who used the body well. Kaufman comes back to lay the tackle. Ball still alive. Runnels, can she escape Nanscorn? Corral towards the boundary. Ball dribbles down the line, and Clark sees it out. So the Bombers now scrambling with 1:36 to play in the third. They cling to a 4-point lead. Freo with the breeze in the final term.
Got to be wary of Gabby O'Sullivan, who has not many anywhere near her here running through the stoppage.
Dyke couldn't control it. It gets over the back to Clark. Kicks out into space. Chance for G to run onto it. Well done by Craig. Got there. Work to the front. Still there for Craig. G now lays the tackle. Bannister arrives too. Good one-on-one battle.
Big win from Craig. Knowing when you have a player like Georgia G there, you need to make body contact really early. Took her off the line of the footy and then was able to gather it herself. That's great defending one-on-one.
Gaylor's quick release to Kane, who's immediately wrapped up by Miller. Dying Stages' third term, a goal either way. So significant. McCarthy tries to crash through but can't. Right now, Essendon with the slightest of leads, but the Dockers to come home with the breeze. Dykes taps looking for Nanscorn. McCarthy forces another stoppage. Strong. Nanscorn. Keeney bends the kick. O'Driscoll attacks it at speed as per usual. Drives to 50. Free kick for a push off the ball. Going the way of Fremantle. Still time here with 40 seconds left. Antonio's a penetrating kick.
Oh, Spurs free.
Heads towards the pocket. It was a 3-on-1. Important mark taken by Maddie Gay, who, as I mentioned earlier, looks a little sore as well.
Just that in-between area, that's where all the Essendon players were. She either needed to lower her eyes and get a short lead up or kick it all the way out the back.
The fingertips of O'Driscoll. Pugh turns tackler on Van Loon. Trying to bust out was Antonio and does. Could be important. Gets it inside 50. Miller tracks it. Keeney tracks her. Haley finds a boot but can't get purchase. Moorcock to Clark. And Essendon see off the late threat. And they will head to three-quarter time in the elimination final with a 4-point lead. Fremantle to come home with the doctor at their back. It's Essendon 4-2-26. Freo 3-4-22.
All right. There we go. It's three-quarter time. It's the Bombers in front now. 4-2-26, leading the Dockers 3-4-22. Eddie G, he's getting nervous in the house. The Fremantle supporter. I'll tell you what. Wow, 4 points in it. There's another great quarter. Essendon did look dangerous, didn't they? Kicking 2 goals, 2 in the third term. The Dockers kicking 1 goal, 1. You know, that being said, let's just talk about this for just one moment. There's been 7 goals kicked. 6 of those goals have all been scored down the end that Fremantle are going to kick at next. So that's got to give Fremantle supporters out there a lot of hope that they can get the job done today and take this victory out. And then they will go on to play Adelaide. There we go. It's going to be a great game. Who's going to win? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. Let's have a look at the polls so far. We've got 75% saying Fremantle Dockers are going to win. 25% saying the Bombers leading the way, though, at three-quarter time by 4 points. It's anyone's game. Absolutely anybody's game. But still, my tip is Fremantle is going to go home with that slight breeze in the final quarter. That's the end where all the goals have been scored, apart from 1 goal in the third term by Freo kicking against the breeze there. So, as I said, Fremantle, you've got your chance. You've got your chance. Here are the goal scorers up until three-quarter time. Brooke Walker, Emily Goff, Amber Clark, the goal scorers. Daria Bannister, the goal scorers for the Bombers. For Fremantle, Mimi Storm, Runnels, Miller. That's it. There you goal scorers for Fremantle. Let's have a look at Mimi Storm there, top on the table by 4 on the disposal count for the individual player. There we go. Right down this line here is your disposal count. Emma Driscoll, next best, a 16 with Newton. Runnels on 15. Top 4 all from Freo. And of course, Nanskawin tops the table for the Bombers with 15. Let's just roll down the board like we normally do. Find your player, see how they're playing. Of course, Britt Barker's off the ground. She's a mighty big out for the Bombers. Went off with a corky. As I said, highly unlikely we will see her back in action on the ground today. There are your players. Quickly have a little bit of a glance at the team stats. The Dockers by 22 overall, 19. The handballs have certainly tightened up. So the inside 50s, 25-22, only +3 to the Dockers now. And of course, disposal efficiency dropping off a little bit there. The Dockers, they need to lift that up coming into the final term. 15 to 12 free kicks, all pretty even there. Nothing much to talk about. As we said at quarter time, half time, Fremantle Dockers dominating the hit-outs, but not capitalising on that advantage there. The clearances, the Bombers +5, and centre clearances +2, and the stoppage clearances +3. So the Dockers, when they take that hit-out, they actually really need to talk to their mids and see what's going to happen and make the play so they can tap it down there. There's the contested possessions, all pretty even, tightening up on the uncontested. Turnovers, both reasonably high there today. Marks, not a great deal of difference there, 4 to 2 inside 50 marks for the Bombers. All right, let's get back here. Let's get back to the commentators. They'll give us a little bit of analysis before we head down to the final quarter here, where it's Essendon by 4 points. Do or die for one of these teams today.
Left of screen, they've got a narrow lead, Ruby Slusher. Did they need more goals than the 4-point lead that they've got at three-quarter time with the Dockers coming home with the break?
I think they did. The Dockers were smart at the start of the game. Laura Pugh electing to go against the breeze in that first quarter. They knew the breeze was going to get stronger as the game goes on. Half and I were talking during that quarter, and we just thought if Essendon wanted to hold on or give themselves a chance in this last quarter, we think they had to be up by about 2 goals.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Fremantle have done this all season long. They've kicked into the breeze and they've finished strongly at home with the breeze. And they've got over the line, chasing a couple of scores in about 3 or 4 games, I think, at home. So they've done a great job with this.
So does Natalie Wood park the bus? Does she throw 1 back? Does she throw 2 back? Does she do what Tamara Hyatt did on that Friday night? And
we don't want to see that again, please, Mel. We don't want that again.
Sandbag the game.
No, well, I reckon there'll be 1 back early, and what happens after that's going to be interesting, because if you put too many numbers back and Freo start to equalise, the ball lives in that area of the ground, so you can't score. And at some stage, you're going to get scored against. It's just a matter of how frequently that happens. So really delicate balance of how Nat Wood and the coaching staff of the Bombers handle this extra player, what they do into the breeze this last term.
And what about Mim Strom, Ruby? 20 disposals, 1 goal. How many hit-outs has she had? How many to get the record?
39 hit-outs. She needs 9 to equal it, 10 to get the record. So we spoke about her pre-game and how we thought she was going to be in for a blinder against these Essendon rucks and undersized rucks. And, geez, she hasn't been... she's been impressive. She's just been so impressive and, done the same thing she's done all season.
Okay.
Bombers +5 clearance though.
Which team heads home? Which team heads to Adelaide? We're about to find out.
Dockers with the breeze, and we start with another stoppage.
And Gaylor again finding herself in a new position, playing inside mid now, has been thrown everywhere in this game and through her small career so far, and is just thriving in it.
Fascinating to see Essendon's mindset to that attack. Can they find that 1 goal to negate the one that Freo got in the 3rd term, or do they park the bus? Feels like they're going to need to score again. Holding Fremantle for 20-odd minutes with the breeze at their back is going to be very difficult. Radford towards Miller. It was touched off the boot, so play on the call. Ball up the result as we head down Anna Hay.
Good news from the Bombers camp. Amber Clark is good to go.
Oh, that's great news. As we mentioned, she suffered a concussion in round 1. Great to hear she's got a clean bill of health here.
Yeah, Jace, not only for this game, obviously, but her health overall. That's great to hear that she's not suffering from concussion and can get back out there.
Strong does take it from the ruck. Expect to see plenty of that. Well done by Morecambe. Back to the middle of the ground. Gamble came thundering out to meet it. Lally strong over the football. Hand-to-hand combat continues. It's been like it all day. Old school inside battle of a final. Strom again though, the one player at the ground who can continually clear the congestion. Gay first back there, gets rid of Antonio, needs support, drew a crowd, used Clark, floats the kick. Front on contact free kick, it's paid to Scanlon.
Well, Strom coming to the floor here. She's been able to take 2 out of the ruck and get the clearance. That's her 8th clearance now for the game.
Scanlon to the pocket from Mulholland. Strong grab. It's been a quiet day for Amy Mulholland. She's landed heavily there. Just had the one touch this afternoon.
But she has played that defensive forward role on Maddie Gay. So, yes, hasn't had a whole lot of the footy, has laid a couple of tackles, but
I think she's going to come to the bench for assessment as well. Medical staff took a while to get out to her. Teammates have actually ushered her away and said, no, you need to get some assistance here. She looks sore.
Yeah, so despite just the one touch, you can say she's absolutely done her job. She's been able to negate Maddie Gay's influence on this contest while she's been playing off the half-back line.
So Amy will come to the boundary for further assessment. Proppy. So a kick is going to go into the hands of Megan Kaufman. She's kicked 3-3 for the season. Here's Amy. So Kaufman. Big moment early in the final term.
Needs to aim this left goalpost for the win to do the job here.
Chance to put Freo back in front. 40 out. Did drift right, as predicted.
They've done a really good job of this all game, Fremantle, taking away the short lead-ups and forcing Essendon to go long to a contest straight away.
Gay needs to do here. It's a good purchase on the kick. Great fist in there late from Scanlon. Was headed for the chest of Alexander. Bannister tried to keep it moving and did. Nanscorn's handball. Radford. Here's Bannister through again, only as far as Lowe, who stopped her in her tracks. O'Driscoll hurls herself into the tackle as well. The Bombers at least get it to the wing out of the danger zone. 5,000 people here at Fremantle Oval. The Purple Army out in force. First home final since 2020. Lally's kick to the forward 50. Gay. Brown smothered off her boot. Well played, Miller. Now pokes it inside 50. Antonio finds it on the ground. Shrugs a tackle. Umpire says advantage. Lally, open goal. Freo in front. Dockers back in the lead early in the final term. Free kick for a high shot. Advantage paid. And all the Lally finishes.
Well, this was incredible composure from Orla Lally. Great handball out from Antonio as well, but hearing the whistle sort of puts you off a little bit, then knowing you're taking the advantage, and in your head all you were doing is telling yourself that this needs to go through because you've taken the advantage of another player who could be having a shot at goal, and that was cool, calm and collected from Orla Lally.
Emma Clark back into the action for the Bombers, who now trail by 3 points. Dyke immediately tackled off the back of the stoppage by O'Sullivan. Strong down to Derrier. She had it pinched by Radford. So no Maddie Prasparkas, no Amy Mulholland, both sides down a player. Prasparkas has been out of the game since full half-time. Strong's kick, well done by Brown. Look out, she's going to get run down by Miller. Just got the kick away. Pressure now on Maddie Gay, being harassed by Seth. Get some support. Radford arrived in time. Nanscorn quick hands. And they managed to work it back towards the wing. 2-on-2. G stayed down. Looks up, will kick it down the line. Tries to get it over the head of Scanlon. Bounces past Clark. She attacked it, did well. Almost got it back. Desperate defence from Fremantle. Vaught got involved. Flynn got the handball out. Verrier kicks down the line. Body work is good behind the football from Gay. Walker. Nanscorn on the overlap. Hits the kick to 50. Here is Clark, but she loses her footing at the critical moment. Sockering it forward was Keeney. support. It arrives from Webster. She pops a handball. Too big for Strong. Awkward bounce. McCarthy will take the tackle.
Really smart from McCarthy there. Took the ball and then took the pressure. As you see that one just out of the hands of Amber Clark. But really, really good game sense from Ash McCarthy. That was frantic, a frantic few minutes where the ball was going back and forth. By just taking possession, got a stoppage, and they can set up now.
King got a hand in. Webster taken down. Highland on top. Elimination final hangs in the balance. Adelaide awaits. East in there. Left it for Lally. Wrapped up is Craig. And the Bombers find a goal into the breeze. They haven't kicked one into the breeze today. There's only been the one. It was Freo in the third term. Keeney got it forward towards Vaughn. Ball in underneath her with O'Driscoll in over the top. This contest to contest battle continues. Again, Strong down to Veria. Her kick's dangerous. Keeney's got it right on 50. Can she find an option? She'll set it up. It's all Freo at the front. Big mark taken by McCarthy. She now looks to change the angles to Reynolds.
Yeah, you feel like Keeney there. I know she wanted to be composed with the footy, but in taking the time, it allowed the mids like McCarthy to get back in that dangerous position.
Reynolds will go to a pack. Some pushing and shoving. A hold call. It's going Freo's way to Mim Strong. 24th touch for her, coming off 30 last week.
And the 9 clearances as well, her previous best to this point, 7. So another career high that we've seen this afternoon.
Low crunch by Goff. McCarthy in there again on Van Loon.
And she's been doing what we said she might at half-time, taking the ball out of the rough and then just throwing it on the boot to get a huge amount of metres gained in this one, 375 metres gained.
McCarthy wins the disputed football. A bounce to the back for Brown. It needed to be quick. Pressure came from Kaufman. Bush's handball was good to Vaughn. Now to Alexander. Can she slip away from O'Sullivan? She can. Bush off the step. Van Loon. Dyke. Good smother kick away. Now it's McCarthy with power against Nanscorn. Off to Scanlon. Bouncing football towards half forward. It'll get over the back. Fatigue starting to kick in here. Vaughn and Antonio. In fact, it's Clark. Clark will get the free kick. She'll go short to Alexander. It feels like players from both teams just need to catch their breath.
Yeah, so Essendon have got that one player sitting as that goalkeeper deep behind the play. With 8 minutes to go, you see them sort of keeping that to sort of that maybe 4 or 5 minute point because they cannot play one down when they need to score points forward. So just to shore things up for the last little bit, they're going to keep that +1 defensively, but you think that has to be moved up the ground further either through the contest or equalising for any hope of winning this game.
I've got a hand on it. Radford can't escape set, and here's McCarthy again, just having a massive impact. Her power around the contest to either bust out Kate or prevent her opponent taking any ground at all.
And really, really smart with the footy, knowing when to keep it in, when to advance it, knowing that if the ball trickles out at this stage, it's only probably going to be to Essendon's advantage through that broken play.
This time it's Newton closing the exit on Nanscorn. Blocking free kick going the way of Strong.
That was Gav Newton's 19th tackle of the game.
What a performance in her second final. Strong to half forward. Will get over the back. Van Loon first there. Morecambe being surrounded. Pressure transferred to Brown. She pokes the kick wide. Good composure from the Bombers. And Radford. Wide to Clark. At least gets there to touch it. That prevents it from being a free kick. Freo, great effort from Amber Clark.
And you can just see Lisa Webb and Fremantle, they've done their homework. They've covered off all of those easy kicks that Essendon love chaining the ball out of their back half using the uncontested possessions, the uncontested marks, and they've forced them to play a style of football that doesn't suit them or isn't how they want to play.
Another tackle for Newton this time. Tom Gaylor. Strong. So trying to get it to Newton on the run. McCarthy tried to soccer it out into space, put the head down. Umpire says play on. Nanscore now lays the tackle. Umpire said that one was high. Free kick, Gav Newton. And Freo have got this game contest to contest, which is the way they generally like to play their football. They lead by 3 points. We've got just over 6 minutes to play. Newton high to the pocket. Seth goes up. Almost the mark at the back. All in under that pack. Just Gabe couldn't quite hang on. Black. East couldn't hit the kick. Another tackle for McCarthy, this time on Dyke. Black in the ruck again. Sock it out into space. Maybe for Veria. Now to Newton. Tumbles it to Kickawack. Punched away Van Loo. Kickawack comes again. Pressure on Nanscore. Brown. East just tries to drive to the line. And Freo relentless here. Bombers defending grimly. Dyke the tap. O'Sullivan tried to crash through. Pressure just continues to build as Lisa Webb watches on, coaching her first final. Sock it out of the air. It was O'Sullivan and it just missed right. So the Bombers get the ball back. Can they transition the ground? Under 5 minutes. Gay's kick. Morecambe couldn't haul in the mark.
This is just as good as being able to get points on the board at the moment for Fremantle, keeping the ball in their forward 50. Have to go the length of the ground. Essendon against this stiff breeze. It's pushing to the left of screen.
Strong the tap. Fed out. Alexander to Nanscorn. Scanlon off her bootlaces. Tried to paddle it to McCarthy. Walker. All up. So we approach the 4-minute mark. Strong down towards Newton, but she's surrounded.
So they've gone even numbers across the field now. Essendon, true one-on-one.
Got to find a way to get it out of the congestion here at the moment. It seems like Freo are the only team able to do it. This time it's Ferrier. He's tried to use the body. Newton wins the football. The dangerous O'Sullivan steps through some traffic. Gets to 50. Heads goalward. Gets it over the back. And Norwood put them into a semi-final. Brilliant from Debbie O'Sullivan. Well, she's been the X-Factor all afternoon, threatening to bust the game open with her intensity at the contest. And that was outstanding.
This contest, you thought that Gabby O'Sullivan was the one that could be the difference in this game. Just her intensity at the footy, stepped around 2 or 3. Some of them weren't opponents, some of them were her own teammates, and she just finished that. The minute it came off the boot, you knew that it was either going to be marked by her teammate or carried through, and wow, that is a moment.
John played 133 games for East Fremantle. She's Freo born and bred, heart and soul player. The side now leads by 10 points. Can the Bombers respond with less than 3.5 to play? It's now about game management for Freo, and for Essendon it's about just rolling the dice and attacking here. Gay goes long. They need some contest wins. They need to keep the ball moving. Freo will take contest after contest to chew the clock.
And you imagine that Ebony Antonio or the like, a forward, would come up and take Emma O'Driscoll's opponent and try and free up O'Driscoll to play as a +1 now because they're 10 points up. 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go on the clock, and they need a couple of points, a couple of goals into a stiff breeze.
Nanscorn gets the clearance. O'Driscoll the fumble. Strong. Kane comes in with the tackle, and Freo are just happy to keep this game in close. Strong down to Miller, who threw a boot at it. Keeney rolled to the ground and gone. Miller will get the free kick.
So they can just match the clock a little bit here. They can take as much time off as they want. Try and get some marks. They're going long straight away.
Over the head of Kane. Gets to the back. Bombers need to go. Gaylor. Alexander. Slap forward for G. Well done, Keeney extracted it, but Alexander's kicked straight into traffic. Flynn got it to Miller as the Freo chant starts to circle Freo Oval. Gay's kick, a scrubber. Newton. Awkward for Miller. Flips it to Verrier. Now O'Driscoll. She goes short to Lally and she'll hold.
That is the experience coming to play. We saw Hayley Miller probably get the kick a little bit more coral than she wanted, but that's exactly where you want your kicks going now. That one from Emma O'Driscoll.
Lally's kick towards the pocket. Gay came out, didn't complete it. Seth finds it. It's out of bounds on the full, but the ball's at the right end of the ground for the Dockers. Very much into their 2-minute drill. Got 1 more minute to successfully navigate. They'll be off to Adelaide next week to face the Crows in a sudden death semi-final. Clark's kick. Gaylor and Strong went at it. Kane's handball was looking for Keeney. Nice pick up Vaught, but she ran straight into Pugh. And he's gone. So Laura Pugh, the stand-in skipper, game 64. There's Jackie Vaught grabbing at that left calf. Hopefully just cramp.
He's a tough customer too, Jackie Vaught.
Temperatures in the mid-20s today. Here's a look.
I think that is cramp by the looks of it, the way it just grabs straight away.
35 seconds left on the clock.
There's a wry smile as well.
More than a wry smile on the Freo bench. They know they've got it. Jackie will limp to the bench. Bombers have been gallant this afternoon. They've been down a player when Chris Marcus was out of the action from early in the second term. They've battled on. Once again, the Fremantle Dockers find a way in a close one. Lally takes the conservative and smart kick down the line to force another stoppage. This has been a good last few minutes. Once they got their noses in front and they've got that goal for the buffer, they've just shut the game down.
They have. It's been a very well-coached, well-prepared performance from Fremantle. They took away the uncontested possessions from the Bombers. They took care of Maddie Gay off that half-back line, and they really were able to make the game the way they wanted it to look.
Hoffman, the release. Dyke. It's McCarthy again. Tackling machine in this final term. There's some space. Newton versus Nanscorn. Flip back. Scanlon couldn't control it, then found it again. Gaylor. Tackled by O'Driscoll. Umpire said hi. And the Dockers survive the elimination final, and they will progress to face Adelaide in a semi-final next week. The Dockers 2 for 2 in home finals.
Ready to go.
Disappointment for Essendon, bundled out in the elimination final for the second successive season. Plenty of positives for them to take into 2025. They fought hard this afternoon. But right now, it's Freo progressing to a semi-final.
It was a fantastic performance from Fremantle. They did their homework, they worked out what they wanted to take away from the opposition and then were able to get the game on their terms. Mim Strom, though, she was phenomenal again. 26 disposals, 56 hit-outs, 11 clearances, 22 contested possessions, and a goal to go with it. That is some performance from an emerging or a superstar ruck. She's no longer emerging, she has emerged. What authority she stamped on this game.
She was the big factor coming in, and she turned out to be exactly that, both literally and figuratively. Mim Strong in a game where clearing the congestion was paramount. It was almost impossible. She was the one player who could consistently do it as we head down to Anna Hay.
Gabby, your first home final since 2020 and you've won in front of a massive Freo crowd. How are you feeling?
I don't even know what to feel. I think it's just pure elation. Like, look at the crowd, look at our girls. What a game. Like, I'm so excited for next week as well.
You played with so much intensity. You were hungry for the footy and then you kicked that goal with 3 minutes to go. What went through your head?
I was trying to get Eastie out of the way because she was in my path, but I was just praying that it kept rolling, and it did, and I knew I was due for a rotation, so I just sprinted off. I didn't even get to celebrate.
Lisa Webb throughout the week said this Freo side can beat anyone in the competition and that you guys thrive on the underdog status. How far can this side go?
Oh, the sky's the limit, really, isn't it? Lisa's so proud of us. We know that if we bring pressure, we can match it with the best, and we've really got that belief. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to next week.
You face the Crows. They took it to North last night. You'll have to be at your best.
Bloody oath, we have to be our best at every single game of the week. And next week again is Jaw Diets for us and for them, so we know that we have to bring our A game.
And you faced so much adversity this year with injury, like the team. It must feel good now to have won today.
Yeah, I think I said it to someone during the week, it adds to that belief. We want to play for Anya, we want to play for Ange, we want to play for Michaela Morrison, all those girls that can't pull on the jumper. We want to play for those girls, and it forces us to step up.
Thanks so much. Go and enjoy.
All right, thank you.
So the Dockers win their first final since season 6. It's been a few years between drinks. Their first final win for coach Lisa Webb. And for the second straight year, Essendon season comes to an abrupt end in an elimination final. Their AFLW team still yet to win a final. That's the end of their third season in this competition. Of course, their men's team hasn't won a final in more than 20 years. So the drought continues for
Not the time to kick them, Cal.
Bombers fans. Hey, I'm just purely announcing the stats there. Let's talk about the Dockers. It's a great story. They had to come from behind to get the win done, and Gabby O'Sullivan, we heard from then, kicked the heroic final goal.
Yeah, it was a great performance in that last quarter. We thought that might be how it played out in that last term, Rubes. We talked about that at three-quarter time. What I loved about the last quarter was they stepped up their clearance game, 12-5 in the clearances in the last quarter, and they'd been down 5 up until three-quarter time, so they really stepped it up. Mim Strom's had a huge day, without a doubt, and she really set the standard for the competition.
She was incredible, wasn't she? I mean, you're looking at some of her ruck work and just putting it on an absolute platter for her midfielders. I mean, we look at her stats, 1 goal, 26 disposals, 55 hit-outs, so she breaks that single-game record of
which
most
was
hit-outs
48.
in a game, which was 48.
Yep.
So just incredibly done, and what a player she is. I mean, we look at 26 disposals, led the ground
Amazing.
for disposals. Gab Newton, incredible performance as well. She had 20 tackles, which was 2 off the record.
Too short, yep. And Kiara Bowers has that record.
That's right, exactly right. Fremantle's Kiara Bowers. So just an incredible game. I mean, Lisa Webb on the screen there. She'd be very, very proud of her Dockers for sure.
All right, so celebrations in front of a record crowd. 4,934. So well done to Dockers fans that really crammed into Fremantle Oval. Fantastic result for them. The poor old Bombers, they were limping to their final finish line, weren't they? Look at Maddie Prespakis. She's got the big chunk of ice on her right hip. It looked like it was some sort of hip flexor injury, maybe a muscle injury. Very innocuous, no one around her. So they'll come together. I mean, they would, like I said, dropping like flies. No Bonnie Too Good. No Prespakis, a couple other players with injury concerns. And here is the joyous Dockers.
We're mighty free!
Jim.
So they will head to Adelaide to play the Adelaide Crows. Head-to-head, it's Adelaide 7 wins and Fremantle 1 win. They played in round 2 this year at Fremantle Oval. It was the Crows winning by 33 points and Fremantle 6 points they finished with. They couldn't get a goal. So a lot to look forward to for next week and a bit of revenge there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they'll be coming in hot. Hopefully they get Ash Bradsell back. That would be a big boost. I mean, Freo's backline did tremendously today whenever they were under pressure, particularly against the wind, but they were really solid all day. If they get Ash Brads back, it looks like a different team coming off of half back, but it'll be an interesting midfield battle.
So you said at three-quarter time, both of you, they needed a 2-goal lead. Yep. Essendon, not a 4-point lead. And lo and behold, the Dockers kicked 2 goals in that final term to the Bombers that went goalless. So all the goals bar one in this match were kicked to the left of screen because of the Fremantle doctor.
And that's the home ground advantage. That's knowing the venue. That's why you work so hard through the home and away season to finish as high as you can, to give yourself a chance to get these little advantages for a final series. And they know how to play this ground. They've done it time and time again to be able to come home with that breeze. That was a brilliant goal.
How good was that? And the crowd as well. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at that crowd, I got goosebumps watching that goal. Gabby O'Sullivan ran straight to the bench. You just kicked the goal of the game. She's absolutely belted it. Her teammates are trying to get around her. She's going, see, guys, I'm knackered. I'm going to have a breather. But no, incredible goal from Gabby O'Sullivan.
Yeah, fantastic player. She's been from Fremantle, heard through the commentary. Her old man played at East Freo, 130 games. So Freo through and through. It's a great win. Lisa Webb should be very proud as we see the road to glory. And they'll take on the Adelaide Crows, as you said, Cal, in that first semi-final. And they come in as winners. Adelaide come into this game as losers, without being disrespectful.
Yeah, thought I was blunt.
They lost the game last night, so they are the losers from the qualifying final. So that dynamic of win v loss from the team chasing versus the team coming down can affect the contest.
Yeah, well, we speak about the midfield battle and what that'll look like. I mean, I think someone's got to go to Ebony Marinoff of Freo. I think it's got to be Gabby Newton. I mean, particularly when you look at today's numbers from her, 20 tackles, we know that she's got the ability to do that and put the pressure on. Anne Hatchard, a weirdly quiet game for her standards last night against the Roos. I think her and Ash McCarthy just go head-to-head, let them go at it.
Wow.
And then put Newton to Ebony Marinoff and see if she can nullify how much of the ball she gets. It's a big task. She does not stop moving all game, so she's going to have to be able to run with her, but I think that would be the move for Lisa Webb.
So 20 tackles in a game and she's coming for the tackling queen.
And she had 20 disposals as well, so she hit both sides of the ball. That's the way they play a bit, the contest stoppage. That's why Mim Strummer has such high numbers of hit-outs as well, so that's sort of the way they want to play it. So if you're around the contest, around the ball, you're expected to work pretty hard. You see Kiara Bowers there with the sunglasses on her head at the back of the pack there. I mean, that was her bread and butter. Tackle, get up, go. Tackle, get up, go. That's the way she built her game. So that's not foreign to the way Fremantle want to play, and they showed a really good head of steam in that last quarter to be able to break the game into space and get a couple of snags.
One I do feel for in this, and she was on camera a little earlier, is Anya Tyke. I do. You see her after the game in her polo, and she's been incredible for Fremantle. I mean, in the pre-season, I played her in the pre-season match, and after that match, I went, she is going to be the best key forward in the comp for years to come. And it's just so unfortunate. You hate seeing players like that go out with injuries like ACLs. But, I mean, she would be watching. I'm just so proud of her team to go into another final.
Yeah, well, what are the stars of the game? Stars of the competition. We absolutely love her here on Fox Footy is Emma O'Driscoll. She's an All-Australian defender. She's been good enough to join us straight after the game. Emma, what's the overriding emotion in front of a packed record crowd? You get the win in a final and you're still alive, baby.
Yes, it was absolutely exhilarating out there. The girls had so much energy coming into the game, and I think it just took a lot of grit and determination in the end, and we got the job done, and bloody hell, it feels good.
Can you talk to me about your ruck, Mim Strom, the game that she's finished with 26 disposals, and she knocked off the record for hit-outs with 55. Just where's this improvement come from? Because she was clearly the best player on the ground.
Yeah, she's sensational. I have been joking all year that I'm going to put a goat in her backyard because that's exactly what she is. I'm not sure if her mum will approve of that, but she's been playing some amazing football. But I think it was always going to come. She got thrown in the deep end first year, and then I think she's just grown since. But she's like having an extra mid in there, so we appreciate all she does very much.
And congratulations, a great performance from your team. I'm interested in the science of the toss and what you do when you win the toss, and whether or not there's a formula to kick into the breeze so you get that last quarter breeze with the faithful at their Freo Oval.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I did do the toss for the first time last week and was very happy about it. Did the double cobras. But yeah, we like going into with the breeze in the last quarter. I think just carries momentum in, and we know that someone like Ash Mack will get on the end of one, which is fantastic.
Drizzo, Ruby here, mate. I'm curious to know, where does the game day preparation start? Because I have seen on your Instagram every single game day morning, game day with the ladies, you and Laura Pugh. Can you talk us through that game day ritual a little bit? Because is that how you just start to get a little bit excited for the game?
Oh, Rubes, I'm so glad you brought this up. Yes, game day with the ladies is where it all starts. My best mate, Laura Pugh, she works in aged care, and some lady just started saying ladies one day, and then we took to it, and it's now a tradition. We do it every single game day, and it takes our minds off the game a little bit, but also it's absolutely chaotic, and I think that's just the energy we then bring into the game, which is great.
You don't have to worry about bringing any energy to the game, Drizzo. I reckon you do that yourself. Now, talk to me a little. You lost Ash Braz. You knew she wasn't going to be playing heading into this one. You and Laura Pugh held up beautifully down there. But what does that do for you guys coming into this game, knowing that you were missing her? Hopefully you get her back next week.
Yeah, look, I think it's just trust. We have trust in our whole backline, no matter who's out there. We have a lot of depth, and we trust that we'll get the job done. Someone like Jess Lowe, she's just a role player. She'll absolutely lock down anyone on the field. So, we have trust in her. Jay Flynn, Joe Craig off the halfback, and I think Maddie Scanlon's been playing some phenomenal footy as well, one-on-one. So we back each other in to get the job done, no matter who's out there. But let's hope Braz is back out there next week, because we could certainly use her left foot.
No doubt about that, D-Riz. I'm going to call you D-Riz. I'm not sure if it's real or not, but I'm going to run with it. What about the performance of your coach, Lisa Webb? We've been talking about her all afternoon and what she's done for this squad. She's built a really good foundation of game and system and structure, and it's been able to stand up in a final now. Tell us about Lisa Webb's impact on this group.
Yeah, we love Lise. She's a great human being, and I think the way she builds connection with her players allows us to buy into whatever game plan she's throwing at us. But her main message heading into the game was stick to the process, and we've done all the preparation up to this point, so we just had to back each other in and know that whatever message Lisa was going to give us, we were going to believe her and make it happen. So, yeah, love Lise, and I'm so glad we could get the job done for her.
And before we let you go, Emma, just a quick one on your opponent next week, the Adelaide Crows. You played at that oval back in round 2, and you guys weren't able to produce a major. They got you by 33 points.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough game coming up against Adelaide. We're certainly going to respect them, but yeah, I think that they've got something coming as well, because we are going to shake Adelaide up a little bit this week, I think. But yeah, I think just having experience playing against them in the rounds just, I guess, helps us going into this final game. And like I said, we won't underestimate them, but we're certainly carrying some momentum in, so they should be scared.
You're going to carry some momentum in that body for one quick backflip for everyone out there?
Oh, I wish Medical have given that a big fat cross on no backflip, but if we win the next one, I might have to produce something.
Medical, the party poopers. Good on you, Emma O'Driscoll. All the best of luck in Adelaide next weekend. We love your work.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Go Freo!
So we started this final series with 8. We're down to 7. The 8th place Bombers have been knocked out tomorrow. It is a double header in the finals, starting with Hawthorn hosting Brisbane at Icon Park.
All right, there we go, folks. Fremantle, they did it. They got over the Bombers tonight. 5-6-36, defeating the Bombers 4-2-26. It's game over. It's lights out for the Bombers for this season. Tell you what, that was a little bit of advantage, like we talked at three-quarter time. Freo kicking with that slight little bit of a breeze. That's the end where all the goals have been kicked, apart from one. That's where we thought Fremantle could do the job and get over the line, and that they did by 10 points. What a fantastic game, though. And of course, Freo's next opponents come in as Adelaide, and they've got to go over, make the long journey over where's that? Over the East Coast, over to Adelaide, pretty much. Play them. Look, I think Adelaide, well, it's just my thoughts, folks. I think Adelaide will be licking their chops no matter who they were going to end up playing today, because Adelaide certainly played really good in their defeat last night against North Melbourne. But, that being said, hey, you've got to be in it to win it. Let's not write Fremantle off just yet. Let's wait and see how they go. It should be a cracker game. Next round, of course, second round of the finals. But don't forget, folks, we've got 2 more games there tomorrow to round out the first week of the finals. Of course, we've got the big match, Hawthorn taking on the Brisbane Lions, and of course Port Adelaide taking on the Tigers. Let's hope the Tigers can win. It'll be a good birthday present there for Ryan on his birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Ryan. Good stuff, young fella. Let's hope the Tigers can win. I tell you what, I think the Brisbane Lions and maybe the Tigers will be both victors tomorrow, but you'll have to tune in tomorrow, folks. Tune in tomorrow and find out who is going to be playing the following week and who's going to be playing who as we count down to the grand final AFLW. Tell you what, we've got the good teams left. It's exciting football. It was a great match today. As I said, it was a record crowd there at Fremantle over there in Perth today. Everyone loves the AFLW football. All right, folks, that's all I've got for, as we thought, we did take the poll today in the live chat here, and of course, 77% went for Fremantle Dockers. Well done, everyone who was in here at the live chat today. We got that right. 77% went for the Fremantle Dockers, and they got that job done by kicking 2-2 in the final term. And of course, Essendon unable to score. Essendon didn't score in either of those two quarters going their end of the ground. They went to in the last quarter. Most of the scoring, as I said, went the Dockers' way down that end of the ground today. So I tell you what, it was a great game. Shout out Eddie G, you'll be happy. Your team, Fremantle Dockers, they got up for victory today. Very happy man there, very happy people over there in Perth. But, you know, Essendon team, they can pack their bags early. They can set off, get on their holiday, go and relax in the sunshine somewhere. Okay. All right, folks, that's me over and out. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. And if you're listening to this later on in the live stream on replay, thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. Check out a few of the more of the other AFLW action games coming up, and there's been already. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Thanks, Annette. Thanks, Jen in your heart. Thanks, Tine, the manager in the house. Cool boy. Thanks for popping on in. Random stuff. Of course, Brett and Ryan Addy G. Good stuff, fellas. Good to see you all in here today. Hopefully we'll see some of the good folk back tomorrow for the other two games, as I said. Hawthorn taking on Brisbane Lions, and of course the final match of the first round of finals where Port Adelaide take on Richmond. Richmond have got to do the travel over to Port Adelaide. It's going to be a bit of a tough journey, but we'll see how they go. That being said, I think Brisbane have got to make their way down to Melbourne to play Hawthorn. So should be in for some great games. I'm not sure on the weather. Let me just check and see what the weather's supposed to be tomorrow. Sunday is supposed to be a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of cloudy, 20 degrees though. So we're in for some good games. Should be quite nice. Should be sunny over there in Adelaide as well for the football. But just another fantastic game of AFLW football action here, coming to you live from my channel. Thanks everyone for coming in. That was the game today from Fremantle Oval there, over there in Perth, Western Australia. Another cracker of a game. All right, folks. That's all I've got for this one. So thanks very much for coming in. Ciao for now. We'll see you on the next game.